Good morning, all of you. You all are welcome in the e-learning classes of the Sacred Heart School. Today, in this video, we will discuss about the very important unit of your syllabus, that is the biomolecules. In my previous video, I have explained one important type of the biomolecules, that is the nucleic acid. And these nucleic acid is of two types. One is DNA and other is RNA. How this DNA and RNA are formed? So their fundamental structural component, that is the nucleotide, we have done. Today in this video we will discuss about the few more types of the biomolecules, like as the carbohydrates, like as the proteins. What are carbohydrates? The word carbohydrates means that is the hydrates of the carbon. Whenever the different type of the hydrates of the carbon are combined together, or you can say when the carbon comes in contact with the water, the resultant compound obtained known as carbohydrates. And these carbohydrates is basically made up of the three essential element. One is carbon, second is oxygen, and third one is hydrogen. In some derivatives, the few more types of the elements are also possible there, but basically the structural components of these carbohydrate is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And these carbohydrates can be represented by journal formula, that is the CxH2O का whole y. So basically CxH2 का whole y, or you can say CxH2x and this OX. So this is the basic journal formula of all type of the carbohydrates. The basic terms of the carbohydrate means these are the most abundant organic molecule found in the nature, because all type of the living system, like as the plants, like as the microbes, like as the animals, they all are made up of the different classes of the carbohydrate. The term carbohydrate is derived from the French term, that is the hydrate de carbone. It means the hydrates of the carbon that I have explained you. The basic journal formula of these hydrates is that is the CxH2O the whole y, or you can say CnH2 ka whole n, where n is the kind of the integers which may be 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So in this way, these hydrates play a very important role in our life and provide the basic unit for the energy. So in all type of the organism, the source of the energy is basically carbohydrate, and these carbohydrates perform various function. And basically in this function, the source of energy is that one carbohydrate, that is the form of the precursors for many organic compounds, like the fats, amino acids, or you can say for the formation of the fats or amino acids. And these carbohydrates play a very important role. Not only this one, these carbohydrates are present in all type of the other complex compounds, like as the glycoproteins, like as the glycolipids, and it is found in the cell membrane, and it is responsible for the permeability of the cell membrane. And this carbohydrate is a form of the storage energy. Basically in our body, the compound glycogen is present, and this compound glycogen is a form of the carbohydrate. So in case of the plants, in case of the animal, and these carbohydrates are the reserve food material. So from the chemistry point of view, the basic journal formula of the carbohydrate is that is the CxH2 ka whole y. And in the short you can say, and this is the excellent source of energy in all type of the living system. Not only this one, and these carbohydrates play a very important role as the constituents of the living system. On the basis of the structure, all type of the carbohydrates can be classified in three main types. One is monosaccharides, second one is oligosaccharides, and the third one that known as polysaccharides. Whenever we talk about these three terms, the most common parts of the three terms, that is the saccharides. Saccharides means the compounds that you can obtain from the saccharum plants. The saccharum plants means the Saccharum officinarum, and this is the botanical name of the sugarcane plant. The most primitive type of the all type of the carbohydrates derived from the Saccharum officinarum plants. That's why all these compounds known as saccharides. The word saccharum is basically derived from the Sanskrit word that known as sharkara. Sharkara stands for what? Shakkar, and shakkar means that is the sweet compound that we are added as a food component. So basically, the word saccharides is derived from the word sharkara from the Sanskrit. And on the basis of the hydrolysis, and all these, on the basis of the hydrolysis, all these carbohydrates can be classified as monosaccharides. What are monosaccharides? The compound, the class of the carbohydrate which cannot be hydrolyzed further into their basic constituents, that known as the monosaccharides. On the other hand, what are oligosaccharides? The compound which can be derived in the two fundamental units. What are polysaccharides? The compounds which can derived in the various numerous fundamental units, that known as the polysaccharides. So which cannot be hydrolyzed further, that is monosaccharides. Which can be hydrolyzed, that known as oligosaccharides, and which can be hydrolyzed in the n number of units, that known as the polysaccharides. And basically, the monosaccharides is the unit of the carbohydrate which having the number of carbon atoms and based upon the type of the functional group is there. And these oligosaccharides can be classified further as disaccharides, as trisaccharides, as tetrasaccharides, and so many other. The polysaccharides may be non-crystalline, which is soluble in the water, and the second one, that is the crystalline, which are soluble in the water. So non-soluble components are non-crystalline, so we can say, and this is the simple class of the carbohydrate. Each class of this carbohydrate is important for various function, like as the monosaccharides. And this monosaccharides, the simple example is glucose. And this glucose is the source of the energy in various living system. When we talk about the oligosaccharides, the basic example is sucrose. And sucrose, C12H22O11. And this sucrose means the sugar. And this is the excellent source of energy in various living system. And while in case of the polysaccharides, the example is cellulose, example is starch, example is glycogen, and these compounds are the structural components as well as the fundamental unit for the energy. In this way, these polysaccharides are also important for us, oligo is important for us, and this monosaccharides is important for us. Now, I am going to explain how monosaccharides can be classified further. These monosaccharides can be classified. First classification, that is based upon the number of carbon atom. The first, if the number of carbon atom is 3, the compound known as triose. Example, glyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone. One is, if the number of carbon is 4, that known as tetrose. The formula is C4H8O8. Erythrose and theriose are the example of this category. Next one is pentose, that is ribulose and arabinose are the examples of this class of the compound, that known as pentosose. And hexose having the 6 number of carbon, and heptose having the 7 number of carbon. Examples glucose, example pseudoheptulose. So these are the classification of the monosaccharides on the basis of the number of carbon. The maximum number of carbon in these monosaccharides is 7, and the least number of carbon, that is the 3. And as well as on the basis of the type of the functional group, and these monosaccharides are of two types. If the aldehyde group is present in the structure of the monosaccharides, the resultant compound known as aldose. while if ketone is present as a functional group in a compound, and this compound known as ketose. So aldose and ketose are the two more forms. Yeah, by this classification, all type of the monosaccharides can be classified in two main type. One is aldose and one is ketose. You know, the aldehyde and ketones are interconvertible together. One form of the aldehyde can be converted to ketone, and ketone can be converted to the aldehyde, and in this way aldose and ketose are the two structural forms of the compound. Now, the derivatives of monosaccharides. One is deoxy sugars, deoxygenation of ribose product. Example, deoxyribose, which is the structural components of DNA. What do you mean by the deoxy sugar? And deoxy sugars is a kind of the pentose sugar or hexose sugar which having the number of carbon is 5 or 6. Example, deoxyribose. And this deoxyribose is basically present in the DNA, and this part I have explained in the previous video. Second one is amino sugar. When one or more OH group of the monosaccharides are replaced by the NH2 and it form the amino sugar. Example, and glucosamine. Example, glucosamine, which form the chitin and fungal cellulose and hyaluronic acid. This amino sugar, this glucosamine, is again very important for the formation of the fluid present in our joints. So for the maintenance of the fluid of the joints, and this glucosamine play very important product. So this glucosamine is a kind of the amino sugar. You know, in case of the sugar, in case of the monosaccharides, the number of component present in the glucose, that is aldehyde group is present, maybe the ketone group is present, and not only this one, sometime the various OH group is also present. And whenever this OH group is replaced by the NH2 group, the resultant compound obtained that known as amino sugar. Example, best one, that is glucosamine. I have told you the significance of this glucosamine. Next one is sugar acid. The word acid means COOH group. So whenever the oxidation of the aldehyde takes place, you know very well, you have done this part in the organic chemistry. Whenever the oxidation of the aldehyde take place, and always the carboxylic acid is obtained, the CHO group is converted to the corresponding COOH group, or the OH group is first converted to the aldehyde, and later this aldehyde is converted to the carboxylic acid. So the amino sugar acids are those compounds in which after oxidation the aldehyde or any of the OH group is converted to the corresponding compound that known as sugar acid. Example, ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is the example of the sugar acid, and in which the one CHO group is converted or replaced by the COOH group. And maybe this conversion is possible by the displacement, or sometimes this conversion is possible by the oxidation of the aldehyde or ketone group. Next compound that known as the sugar alcohol. And what do you mean by the sugar alcohol? The reduction of the aldehyde and ketone, you know, after the reduction the aldehyde or ketone is converted to the corresponding alcohol. So whenever the any type of the monosaccharides undergo the reduction in a presence of any suitable agent like as the H2 gas, any suitable agent like as the lithium aluminum hydrides, and any other source of the reduction, and that time this aldehyde group present in the sugar or ketone group present in the sugar is converted to the corresponding alcohols, and in this way the resultant compound obtained known as sugar alcohol. Example, glycerol. Example, mannitol. So these are the different other classification, and all these compounds collectively known as the derivatives of the monosaccharides. So we have done deoxy sugar, we have done amino sugar, we have done the sugar acid, and we have done the sugar alcohol. And deoxyribose, I told you the DNA components, amino sugar, glucosamine, and sugar acids, example ascorbic acid, and sugar alcohol, example glycerol or mannitol. So these are the various compounds of the monosaccharides and which fall in the category of the derivatives of the monosaccharides. Now I am going to explain the second class of the carbohydrate, that known as oligosaccharides. What do you mean by the term oligosaccharides? They are the formed by the condensation of the 2 or 9 monosaccharides. What do you mean by the condensation? The two distal positions of the two different type of the monosaccharides, or the two same type of the monosaccharides, when come close to each other, the one from the one group, the OH, from the second group OH, the loss of the water take place and the formation of the glycosidic bond take place. What do you mean by the glycosidic bond? That is the C-O-C bond. And these glycosidic bond, whenever present in the n number of monosaccharides, the resultant compound obtained known as oligosaccharides. So basically, oligosaccharides are formed by the process of condensation, that is the loss of the water, whenever the two adjacent monosaccharides come close to each other, and in this way these compounds known as oligosaccharides. Now depending upon the number of unit present there, and these oligosaccharides can be classified further as disaccharides, as trisaccharides, and as tetrasaccharides. What do you mean by the disaccharides? Example sucrose, example lactose, and sucrose the formula C12H22O11. And this trisaccharides, example raffinose, and which is basically present in all type of the plants. And tetrasaccharides, that is starchose, and these are the example of the tetrasaccharides. So oligo are those basically which are formed by the process of condensation. The smallest and the commentable oligosaccharides are the disaccharides. Example sugar is the best example of this category that we are taking in a form of the sweet component. Now disaccharides consist of two monosaccharides unit, सिमिलर और डिसिमिलर, सेम टाइप के भी हो सकते हैं और डिफरेंट टाइप के हो सकते हैं, हेल्ड टुगेदर बाय द ग्लाइकोसिडिक बॉन्ड, द COC बॉन्ड. एग्जाम्पल्स maltose, it is called malt sugar, it is present in the grains, it is present in the cereals like as wheat, rice, whatever. Lactose, and this is the milk disaccharides, and in all type of the milk product, and this is present as a milk sugar, and made up of glucose unit and galactose unit, and both having some relative difference of the structure that we will discuss later. And souring of the milk is due to conversion of lactose to the lactic acid. Whenever the souring or fermentation of the milk take place, why it's so, the lactose is converted to the lactic acid. And third one is that is the sucrose, and it is also called the cane sugar, and it is the sugar found in the sugar cane and the sugar beet, and the most abundant form of the sugar, and which is present in our life, and this is the source of the energy in our normal life, that we are consuming it in a form of the sugar. Now homoglycans and heteroglycans. Polysaccharides, also called glycans, made up of repeating units of monosaccharides, which are made up of n number of glycosidic unit. What do you mean by the polysaccharides, and how these polysaccharides is differ from the oligosaccharides? In case of the polysaccharides, the number of units are n number, while in case of the oligo, the maximum number was 9. During the formation of the water soluble, water molecule is released after condensation. The two distal end of the two monosaccharides or more than two monosaccharides when undergoes the process of condensation, and they will combine to form the they will combine to form the giant structure that known as polysaccharides. This help reduce the bulk, making it almost insoluble, increasing its effect on the water potential and the osmotic potential of the cell. In our diet, you all know one component known as roughage. Roughage means a kind of the fiber and all type of the fibrous carbohydrate known as polysaccharides. And these polysaccharides having the great ability for holding water but remain insoluble in the water. The no solubility will be there, and that's why these polysaccharides are the insoluble type of the carbohydrate which is present in plants as well as in animal body. Unlike sugar, they are not sweet. They are ideal as storage and the structural components. They are of two types, homoglycans and the heteroglycans, made up of one type of monosaccharides only. That's the example glycogen, starch, cellulose. And while the heteroglycans made up of the different type of the units, example hyaluronic acid and this chitin, agar and peptidoglycans are the examples of this one. So in this way, these carbohydrates can be classified in the three main types that we have done one by one, that is monosaccharides, oligosaccharides as well as the polysaccharides. Why these carbohydrates are important? And these carbohydrates are important in a form of the energy. मैंने बता दिया आपको एनर्जी का सोर्स है. And these carbohydrates are present in a basically in our body in a form of the structural components, and basically it is present in all type of the sugar. Storage polysaccharides, carbohydrate reserve, example starch, glycogen and insulin. And the three forms are the structural components. Glycogen is present in our body, starch is present in the plants, and insulin is a form of the complex component which is formed inside the body by the pancreas. So in this way, these are the three essential type of the storage polysaccharides and which are present in our body as well as in the body of the plants. In the next video, we will discuss about the protein. After discussing the carbohydrates, the next important class of the biomolecule is protein. And these protein are very important, and these proteins are present in our muscles, and these protein are present in our tendons, ligaments, and these proteins are present in our blood, and these proteins are present in our hair also. So for the complete maintenance of the body, as for the building up of the body, and these proteins are very important class of the biomolecules. And technically, chemically, and these proteins known as the polypeptide. And these proteins are made up of the different type of the structural unit that known as amino acid. And these amino acids, about the 120 types of the amino acids are present in the nature. And these amino acids, when combined together by the process of the condensation, then the formation of the polypeptide or protein takes place. So very soon in the next video, I will discuss about these protein components. Besides it, the intro part I have told you how these proteins are important for us. So basically, these proteins are the most abundant organic molecule present in the living system. I have told you, in our body parts, not in our body parts, in plants as well as animal also. They form about 50% of the dry weight of the body cell. How these proteins are important, you can see now. They are most abundant for the structural components and functional unit of the cell. Protein are the complete hydrolysis yield the amino acids. I have told you, and these amino acids are the building blocks of the protein. There are 20 standard amino acids, and which are present in all type of the livings, and collagen is the most abundant animal protein, and rubisco is the most abundant plant protein. So please remember these terms, and these terms may be important for 1 mark question. Collagen fiber is present in our tendons, ligaments, muscles, skin, whatever. And protein synthesis is controlled by the DNA and basically performed by the RNA. And this RNA and DNA are responsible for the process of the protein synthesis.